Good morning, everybody. Another day, another mulching project. Moving through September right along here, and it's finally starting to cool off a little bit. Though we got a hell of a lot of rain last night. Sometime in the middle of the night, I don't know. I woke up and I was like, is it raining? And I kind of went back to sleep and then walked out the door this morning. Everything was soaking wet, so I was like, well, I guess it did. So anyway, we're back on a familiar lot, and I got little Munchie out here today to get started with this, and then we'll be back with the skid steer, probably with the mulcher on it, early next week. So let's take a look at what we got. Okay, so like I said, I got little Munchie here, Kubota with the pre-noth mulcher on it. And so this is a lot that I've been mowing for a couple years now. And so we got this section right here, and this is a kind of a really steep embankment here, and it gets a lot steeper as it goes down, and then it hits like there's like a ditch pond thing. It's not quite a retention pond, but it's bigger than a ditch. It's full of water. It's right there. The first time I mulched this out, that thing had pine trees on it, 10 feet tall, 10, 12 feet tall. I mulched all that around. So I just got to knock down this embankment really quick. So that's going to shouldn't take too long. And then we're going to go do another job. At least get started on it. Hopefully finish it today with the excavator as well. And then I'll be back early next week, probably Monday. We'll bring the skid steer over here, probably with the mulcher, the TMC, to mow down this whole lot on this side and the other side of that pond. And the reason I'm gonna use the mulcher is the same reason I used it over there on that other lot, is because I've already seen there's a good bit of deadfall in there in a couple spots from the hurricane. So the trap door on the front of that's going to work well, because I got a dentist office here, I got a bank down there, I got a sidewalk here, I got a sidewalk on the other side, street, you know, and I don't want to throw anything out into the road. So I think the TMC with the trap door is going to work really good for that. But we're just going to knock down this edge. This is not doable with a weed eater. This dog fennel that grows up that's real popular, it's a weed. It's really tough stuff. It's really thick. You cannot cut that with a weed eater. And so and this embankment's pretty thick, or it's pretty deep. It goes down a good way. So we're just gonna knock it down really quick with the mulcher and be on to the next job. We'll get this ready for the skid steer next week. So let's get started. right, that edge is done. Got that cleaned up. Hopefully it dries up by like either next Monday or Tuesday when I come back to mow all this, because this edge right here on the back side of this lot right down through here is very wet, stays wet, but hopefully it'll dry up a little bit more, and we'll just come through here with the mulcher like we did on that other lot and just grind everything up. You can see there's some deadfall over there. There's a big piece up there in the front, so there's another piece, look, right back in there. I'm sure there's a good bit of deadfall out of some of these trees. I don't see a whole bunch of widowmakers, but I'm sure, you know, these pines are notorious for, you know, having dead branches, you know, and having dead limbs fall off of them, or even live limbs for that matter, after a storm, you know, or during a storm. So that's that. So we got this edge cleaned up. It's not impossible, but the way that angle is through there and how wet it is down at the bottom, it's just very difficult to bring the skid steer through here and do this edge, and it won't look good if you do it by hand with like the hedge trimmer. It just leaves those dog fennel, just leaves a bunch of big pieces laying there. So this leaves a lot nicer finish. So I'm gonna grab the blower real quick, just kind of blow off the edge here, and loading the machine up, and we're gonna go to the next job. So let's get that done and off we go. All right, here's the second little project we're gonna get started today. I probably won't finish it, and the main thing I won't get done really is just the boring part of it, which will be getting everything hauled off. I don't have a dump trailer today to get everything hauled off, and I will need one. Luckily, I got a good buddy of mine that's recently started renting his out, and it's got the 4-foot sides on it. It's real high. It's perfect for hauling off what we're gonna have to do in here. So the owner, I mulched this out, I mowed this and mulched this out about a year or so ago. This side over here was really eat up, and then this kind of area here was all eat up with mulch. We mulched all that out, and I've been keeping it mowed about 2-3 times a year for her. And so what she wants to do is basically just go around a few of these trees, just try to clean them up a little better, just kind of beautify some of this up a little bit. So I'm gonna go around, I told her there's not much I can do with the vines in the trees. The only way to get them out is either go up there, get a tree company to go up in a bucket truck and pull them all out and unwind them by hand, or to take the whole trees down. So not much I can do with that, but I'm just gonna try to go around and clean up around the trees, and I'll come back with the hedge trimmer and cut what I can off of them at, you know, ties up as I can reach. So we're just gonna go around and clean up those couple, and then a couple over there, and then over here we're gonna take down these willows. She doesn't like the way they're leaning out like that, because basically they're trying to grow towards the sun. I think those are even dead anyway. So I'm gonna slice all those down, and we'll put the bucket on and drag all those out. I'll cut them up, and then we're gonna come through here. She wants all this mulch gotten up and hauled off too, so she can so we can try to get some more grass to grow here. So I'll put the smooth bucket on, and we're just gonna scrape all this up along with all that tree stuff into a big pile. And then somebody dumped that right there recently, probably after the hurricane. Somebody just came through here and dumped that, probably the landscapers for one of these other properties around here, one of these other office properties. So I guess they figured the city was going to come by and pick that up, but they didn't. So I got to get that up too. So that's what we got to do. So let's while I've got the mulcher hooked up, we'll go around, we'll clean up around some of these trees as best we can, and then we'll take that stuff down and start cleaning up. think I've pretty much gotten everything I want to get with the mulcher for now. There's a few more limbs on this tree that I want to get off, but I think I can break them with the bucket. So I'm gonna take the mulcher off. I'm gonna throw the smooth bucket on. I'm gonna go ahead and take down these willows, and we'll move all this stuff over there into that pile, and we'll start scraping this stuff up. And then I'll go back around the trees with the pole trimmer, the hedge trimmer, and just try to knock down so much more of these vines as I can and clean up these trees as best I can. And we'll have a brush pile and a mulch pile, and we'll be ready to get this stuff hauled out of here. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bleed this. This is a little tech tip for any of you that are new to my channel and are running attachments or thinking about running attachments on excavators. I'm going to bleed the system pressure out of the mulcher into the thumb. Now how I'm going to do that is I'm going to turn this diverter valve from the mulcher over to the thumb, and then I'm going to go into the cab and I'm going to activate the thumb and hit the rocker switch, and we should have pressure bleed out. So what that has done is taken all the system pressure that would have been, so if I would have just unhooked the mulcher from this line through the motor, through the mulcher of the motor, get off of there, fuzzy wuzzy, you would have had pressure built up from this line through the motor of the mulcher into the other line. And so when you would have gone to hook this thing back up on these quick connects, you would not have been able to get those to go back in there because you would have had too much pressure on this side. So let me grab my glove, because these quick connects are basically kind of like pressure fittings, so to speak. So I'm going to turn it back from the thumb where we've got no pressure. I'm going to turn it back over to the mulcher, and now any pressure that was on the mulcher side has just equalized back over here where there's no pressure. And now we can unhook our fittings. All right, so what would happen is if this still had pressure in it and I went to go try to hook this back up, on the male side, this little piece right here in the center goes in, and if there's too much pressure back here in the line, that piece will not go in no matter how hard you push, because I think that this thing runs like around 3,000 psi. So if there's 3,000 psi in here in this line, and you're having to push against 3,000 psi behind that little thing right there, that's a long day. So you'll have to end up taking 2 wrenches and crack these lines and release the pressure out of the mulcher side to get these to hook back up. And I've had to do that. It's not particularly fun. So I know I've shown that before, but it's always good to show it again if anybody that's new to the channel. So all right, we'll pull the pin out and put the bucket on. Oh yeah, like a glove. Philosopher Happy Gilmore, go in your hole. All right, I'm gonna have to unkink that. Like a glove. there she be. I really wasn't worried about it falling into the street, though I did wait for any cars to come by, but it was so hung up in that oak right there, I knew it wasn't gonna fall down into the street. So once I already had it pinched, it wasn't gonna go anywhere, so I just drug it back this way and we were good to go. So I guess we'll start bucking this thing up. I'll pick up the pieces and we'll start bucking and end this into a pile and bring those other branches and stuff over here, put them in a pile, and start scraping up this mulch, and then like I said, we'll clean up around the trees.
right, folks, what a fun day in the woods it has been. So
Got my mulch all piled up right there. The mulch pile, sorry, I had an ant or something on my hand there. The mulch pile is a lot smaller than what I thought it was going to be. I thought that was going to be a lot bigger, and that pile is a lot bigger than what I thought it was going to be. Like, that one's a lot smaller. I thought that was going to be big, but it's pretty small. This is a lot more than what I initially thought was going to come out of here. So there's a decent stack of limbs and those willows in there. But luckily, like I said, I got a good buddy that's I'm gonna call about renting his dump trailer. He posted an ad on Facebook the other day about, people wanted to rent it, and it's a big, I think it's a 14-footer with 4-foot sides. I know it's got the big high sides on it, so it'll be perfect for this stuff. And I'll try to, some of these longer pieces, we'll buck some more of this stuff up with the chainsaw a little bit on these ends and make it a little smaller. But yeah, we'll get it out of here. My dump truck could haul that off, but my dump truck is not good for hauling this kind of stuff off. Not good. Need a dump trailer. So I just don't use a dump trailer enough to really go spend the money on one. I'd love to have one, but I just don't use one regularly enough to justify the cost, because they are expensive. And I can rent one, like him. I think he's gonna, he's told me he could rent it to me for around $250 for the day, so I maybe need a dump trailer maybe just a few times a year for stuff like this, not too much. So if it had just been the mulch, I could have gotten it in the dump truck, so I was really hoping, I was trying to talk the client into just letting me take these. So these right here, well, not that, no, is it that one? Well, like these trees right here, these are Chinese tallows, and they're invasive. And I was trying to get her to just have me take them all out and just get rid of them. And I was trying to let her just let me take them over here and grind them up into a big mulch pile. But she wants the grass to grow back, which is fine. I mean, she wants a nice bit of grass in here, so that's cool with me. So we scraped up all that mulch to get it back down to bare dirt, because the mulch was pretty heavy in there. And if the grass doesn't start to come back naturally, I'll call Greg and get him over here and see about having it seeded or something, and we'll get some grass to grow in here one way or the other. But the rest of this through here, where it's got nice sunlight, it's taken off pretty well. So the only thing I got left to do is to haul that stuff off there, and then I'll go back around the trees. I've got to go back around the trees a little bit and just tidy up a little bit with the hedge trimmer. I went around with the chainsaw, got the big stuff with the chainsaw. I just need to get some of the little vines and stuff with the pole saw trimmer, or the pole trimmer. So that's it. Nice day. Got 2 projects started, didn't get them finished, but still a good day. A good day. Love this U55 for doing projects like this. It's so versatile. I can put the buckets on there, I can put the mulcher on there. When I busted that hydraulic line the other day, somebody commented about, was it the machine's fault, with that little piece of metal there? No, I don't have any issues with this thing right here, having this little piece of metal here. I don't ever have any issues with that. It is not the thickest piece of metal coming out of that pipe there, but it's only ever broken when I've hit something really hard with it, and that's always been my fault. It's never just like popped on its own due to pressure or anything like that. So I love this Kubota. One guy in the comments was like, you should get a Yanmar, and I'm like, why? Like, I love this Kubota for what I do. This thing, the affordability of Kubota, this thing has been nothing but reliable. It's a super reliable machine, especially considering it's 9 years old now. It's a 2014. I've only got about 2,400 hours on it, but and the power for its size, it's super powerful. I'm pretty sure it's more powerful than the Yanmar 55. I know this machine's got more bucket breakout force than the Yanmar 55. So I love this Kubota machine. I mean, I think Kubota, as far as excavators, I think they build a really great machine. Especially in this 5.5 ton, like this U55 and then the KX57 are both just great machines. I've really liked them, and the 040 is a really nice machine too. That's a really nice 40 horsepower 4-ton machine. So all right, beautiful afternoon, and I'm out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys on the next one. A lot more stuff to come. Stay tuned. Bye everybody.